Well, and I think from a company interdepartmental perspective, Stacy, didn't you and Alex have to, during COVID, one of our clients had an employee move. They didn't tell anyone, and so the withholding was wrong
Yes.
for local purposes. And so we had to go back and file like amended W-2s, true up withholding, get some money back from the original residency state and give it to the other state, but where it maybe was a bigger issue because wasn't there some stock comp issued? So like maybe the tax was more significant that just got messed up because someone decided not to, you know, there were multiple parties involved, right? Like the employee moved and didn't tell anyone. Okay, so finally payroll got involved, but didn't tell all of these other branches within the company. And
Yeah,
then we had to come in and get paid to fix it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that is really common.
Mhm.
And obviously, as we've come out of COVID, companies are still fairly agnostic about where they hire and or allowing employees to move around, whether they know it or not. And so
Right.
that's where the issues will arise, and maybe payroll is not getting notified about it until that employee goes to file their personal income tax return, and they're going, oh, my W-2 has withholding from this state, but I live in this state and I'm trying to file my return in new state. And it's not matching, right? So that's where those things are coming up. And unfortunately, some of the companies are behind the eight ball when it comes to that.
Yeah, and not to kind of keep kicking the payroll dog, or a horse, whatever the expression is in this case. It can be whatever I want because I just made it up. But we had a situation where recruiting wasn't even talking to HR correctly. Recruiting was setting new hires up in the system and unknowingly mapping the new hires to the nearest office location, which, in this case happened to be Texas. So there's no personal income tax in Texas. And these employees were working remotely from home, and recruiting didn't know that their home state needed to be set up as the work from jurisdiction. So HR didn't realize this until in some cases several years down the road, and the employees apparently didn't know or didn't communicate, or anyway, there was a several levels of failure in communication here. But that was a pretty decent mess to clean up and remap everybody. It was, obviously a very remote employee heavy company, especially during COVID times. So there was a lot of cleanup to do in this case. So that's just another failure of communication between departments.